All right, now we're doing 8Q power. This is by Hokan86, and 91% of the people like it. So the goal is to create a function of two inputs, number and power, that raises the number up to power, i.e. multiplies number by itself, power times, okay? So we're going to do number to power 3 squared, it's going to be 9. 2 cubed is going to be 8. 10 to the 6 is 1,000,000, but note, math.pow and some other math functions like eval and the double star are disabled. So that makes this a little challenging, doesn't it? But no big deal, because it's still only 8Q. So we'll get it done. First things first, let's try to do a for loop with this, right? Let's say let result equal 1, since we're going to have this number multiplied by 1 power times. And then we're going to say for let I equal 0, while I is less than power, we'll say I plus plus. So then if the power is 2, it'll go 0, it'll go to index 0, it'll go one time at 0 and then another time at 1, but it won't go to 2 because 2 is not less than 2. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so we'll come over here and we're going to say result times equals number. All right, and then we'll say down here return result. Let's see what happens. Test it out. There we go, and attempt it. Just like that, just like that. But you know what? There's so many other ways we could do this. That's why, oh God, all these open up here. So we're going to come over here and we're going to comment this thing out. So just in case we got to refer to it later, or can refer to it anyways. And then we're going to come to the front, press enter. We're going to say const number to power, and we're going to say equals. And inside parentheses, we'll just say n and p instead of number and power. All right. And then down here, first things first, we're going to use kind of like an if statement, but we're going to use it. How about this? Check it out. I'm going to comment this out. I just thought of this just now. I'm going to comment this out. And we're going to take this down to here and this up to here. All right. And let's do an if statement to start. Let's say if power is greater than 0, we're going to do something with recursion. We're going to say number times number to power, and then we're going to say number comma power minus 1, and then we're going to say or else we're going to return this, then else. Sorry if this is getting a little slow or hard to follow right now, but sometimes I like that. We're going to say return 1. 1. Yes, perfect. Okay, look. Hopefully you understand what recursion is. Let's bring up recursion. Recursion is the act of a function calling itself, all right, to solve problems that contain smaller subproblems. So basically here, what we're doing is we're saying first, if power is greater than 0, and if power is 2 right now, 2 is greater than 0. So we're going to say the number, which is 4 on this one. We're going to say 4 times. All right, 4 times this, right? And so, but it's with power minus 1. So now the power is, so now we're doing this over again, which means we're going back through this. And since the power is 1, that's still greater than 0. So we'll say times 4 times. See, because it's another 4 times like that. And then now the power minus 1 makes it 0. So now power is no longer greater than 0, so now we're just going to return 1. So it's 4 times 4 times 1. Let's see if this works. Ha ha, yeah. Good old recursion. So yeah, there's one way we could do it. Actually, I'll leave that up there. I might as well. So now we're going to take these. I'm going to take this, bring it on up here, bring this one back down here. Now we're going to come do this one, because now you saw the if statement work. So now we're going to make that if statement happen using a conditional operator. So the conditional or ternary operator is the only JavaScript operator that takes 3 operands: a condition followed by a question mark, then an expression to execute if the condition is truthy followed by a colon, and finally the expression to execute if the condition is falsy. And this operator is frequently used as an alternative to if-else statements, and that's why we're going to use it, because we're doing it instead of this if-else statement. So we're going to say if, we can just say if P is greater than 0, because remember power is now P. We're going to say question mark. That's the condition followed by a question mark. Then the thing to do when it's truthy, we're going to say in times. We're going to take this, and then we'll shorten that up over here. Number to power in P minus 1. Else, we're going to return 1. Let's see if this works. All right, it works. Awesome. Hopefully this video is not dragging on too long, because I'm gonna do another one, because there's a lot of ways we could do this. All right, so we're gonna comment this one out, and then we're gonna do this thing right here. We're gonna say console.log, and we're going to do array.from. Now, if you don't know about the array.from method, the array.from static method creates a new shallow copied array instance from an iterable or array-like object. So basically, we do this array.from, and then we have an array-like thing, and then element, and then we'll fill up the elements by the expression we write. So, but the thing is, what is the array-like thing? All right, so we're going to come on all the way down here, and we're going to look at this one right here. Here's an array-like object right here. It's just an object where it says length is some number. In our case, it's going to be power. So we're going to come back over here, and we're going to say, inside of these curly braces, length, colon, P. All right? And then we're going to fill it up. Remember we had, where are we with the array.from? Right here. We're going to fill it up with... we're going to have the element, and we're going to fill it up with an expression right here. So for the element, we'll just put we'll put element. Even though we don't even need an element, honestly, we don't need anything there. We're just going to do this, and we're going to have the arrow right here, and we're just going to fill it up with in. And so let's see what it looks like right now. Test it out. So now we've got this array that looks like this, and if we didn't have this, what would it look like? Test it out. Undefined, undefined. So this right here is making it the length of 2, and then, was it this? Yes, and then this is filling it up with the number 4, all right? So now that we've got this, we can do something that's going to multiply this times this by using the reduce method, .reduce, all right? If you don't know about the reduce method, it's got a lot of stuff right here, but basically the easiest to understand case for reduce is to return the sum of all elements in an array. But we can also make it the product of all elements in an array, just that much easier, or just as easy, I should say. So the syntax is going to be reduce accumulator, current value, arrow, and then this right here. So accumulator, current value, I'll show you what those really mean. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to say inside these parentheses, we're going to say, instead of accumulator and current value, we're going to say result and element, okay? So it's going to be just like this result right here. Let me bring this back one. It's going to be just like this result right here, and the element is going to be this element and then this element, because it's going to go through, it's going to do it to the first element to the result, and then the second element to the result. So we're going to come over here and say result times element. All right, but the thing is, the result, the initial value needs to be 1, and right now the initial value is, actually, let's see what happens. Because I think maybe the initial value is 4. So let's check it out. 16, 16, oh, well, I didn't have to do that. So let's get this. Let's test it out for real. No. Oh, no initial value. I knew it. Okay, so we're going to have an initial value. Let's go over to the reduce. Down here, we have a comma and then initial value right there. That's how you do it with this reduce method. Comma, initial value of 1. All right, so let's test it out one more time. And look, there it is. Believe it or not, there's also one more way. Well, there's a few more ways probably, but there's only one more way we're doing here. So remember this part. We're going to keep that part in our minds, but we can make this array a different way. We can use the array constructor, which is used to create array objects, and you have like, we can do just array with array length. So we could just come over here and say array, and then say the length is now p. Let's do a console.log on that. Let's do a console.log. Console.log like that. Bring this in there like that. Bring this up. Test it out. All right, so now we've got 2 empty items, which is exactly what we need when we've got the number 2 here. Perfect. So now we're going to fill these 2 empty items with the fill method, which changes all elements in an array to a static value from a start index to an end index. But we can just say fill value just like that. So array at p, array constructor p dot fill in. Let's test that out. 4, 4. We already know what to do when we got an array looking like that. We just do a copy right here, paste this, test it out, just like that. Get rid of this, test it again, and you take your pick if you made it this far. Attempt it, looks good, and submit it. So there's a few different ways to do this one. You see here, the for loop right here, right off the bat. We've got recursion just like that. We've got recursion right here, and you can go check out the rest if you feel like it. Let's go over to mine. Just me on that one. Best practice in my opinion. Very much like it, and we'll see you next time.